Originally, for the Cork City Sports, Nick was entered in the mile, and then he was planning to do the 5K at Morton Games. I thought initially maybe the 3K in Cork, then a few days later run the 5K in Morton might have been quite a big ask. He decided he wanted to do the 3K, and I thought, well, it'll do no harm. It'll do not bad preparation, coping with sort of running two pretty hard races within a short period of time.
The race in Cork, it went probably perfectly for Nick. It just kind of proved what shape he was in. He was doing 1500s all summer, and when you do that, you kind of get tired of the same distance over and over again. You kind of plateau, and I think that was starting to happen. So just as soon as he changed distance, we seen what shape he was really in. It kind of worked out perfectly. And as for me, being in these type of races, you're buzzing to be racing these type of guys and be racing in front of a crowd like that and be surrounded by just top athletes, and just to be in that race and working with the people I was working with. And yeah, it was just a great experience as a whole to be in that race again.
Felt in good shape. It was paced for 7:45, I think. The one thing I remember Mark telling me was, don't go to the front. Whatever you do, just sit in second, third, fourth, but don't go in behind the pacer, because then you're left out. You're hung out there to dry. I thought, right, won't do that. I got off the line so quick because I've been doing so many 1500s. I was used to just sprinting off the line. Looked over after about 50 meters and was just so far ahead and thought, like, oh, this is not what I was meant to do. And then I tried to just sit back in after about 100 when everyone kind of broke from the cones. Realised no one's going to take this on. I'm not making this a jog. Let's go for it. So kind of just sat in behind the pacer, Juan Ignacio, who did a good job for the first mile, taking us through in about 4:08, I think it was, 62s. So yeah, it was pretty perfect. Then I'd slowed up for a few laps and bunched up for probably another 800 meters, and then last 600 it kind of got going again, and I think I was left a bit when the break was made. I was kind of left asleep, I guess you could say, and probably should have responded earlier, but was, as I was saying, was probably a bit asleep. That meant I was probably just a wee bit far off when the break did happen, but I closed well, and I think 55 last lap, 7:41 overall. So yeah, I was happy enough with it. Like, it was a good bounce back after, as I was saying, a pretty mediocre start to the season, and got the Irish U23 record, which was a goal I had going into it. I wanted to get close to 7:40 the way the race kind of turned out. Pace just didn't stay on for it after a mile. It kind of slowed, as I was saying, but yeah, it was a 4-second PB, like a 12-second outdoor PB. So I thought, you know what, that's a really solid run on that track in those conditions, especially in front of the home crowd. It was nice to be back in front of the home crowd, and that's something that motivated me as well. I thought, you know what, even though Cork is 5 hours away, it is a home crowd. Any Irish crowd's a home crowd, so yeah, they were out in full force, and it was great support. So I thought, you know what, let's try and give them something to cheer for here, and get after it from the gun, which is what I did.
Everything he does, he's proud. We're proud of him. Anything he does, breaking that 3,000 metre record, which was Dara's. Dara McElhenney, absolutely incredible athlete, and one of Nick's kind of role models and mentors in the last 2 or 3 years. And I think to come behind Dara with what Dara had done in the under-20s and under-23s, and be the kind of so-called golden boy of Irish athletics and middle distance running, I think for Nick to achieve that, yeah, it was a very proud moment, yeah, definitely.
The Morton Games at 5,000 was probably one of the best races I've seen for Nick in Ireland. The crowd, as you said, were really good. There was great excitement, and for some reason it was one of the biggest crowds they've had at Morton for a long time, and the weather, the whole night was just absolutely perfect. You couldn't ask for better.
On your mark.
Nick Griggs
We flagged this up in Cork on Tuesday night that he went after Darragh McElhinney's Irish under-23 record of 7:42, and he got it. 7:41 he ran, and the 19-year-old in his first year in the under-23 category, I have a strong feeling is going to be looking at Darragh McElhinney's 13:17. It is a strong Irish under-23 record. It's the Tyrone teenager. He is a special talent. Nick Griggs is on his way to a serious time. He might be on his way to a win. This is one of the best runs we've ever seen from Nick Griggs, and he has had a lot of them over the years in his short career. The 19-year-old, coached by Mark Kirk, managed by Ricky Sims, running for Puma. He's on track for something special here, and he is a big kicker when he gets into 5,000 metres, and he has had a dream run into this race. It is a massive Irish under-23 record for Nick Griggs for the second time in the space of 3 days. Nick Griggs has absolutely smashed it on Irish soil.
Very best, and some of the most durable and hard-working Irish athletes in there.
Yeah, it was pretty special one, I think. Leading into it, I actually didn't feel too good. I think it's always tough to sleep after a race, and I didn't get a great night's rest after Cork. Then having to travel up the next day, it is a lot, like it's basically a full day of travel. By the time you get home, it's like 7 p.m. like, do you know what I mean? So mum and dad drove me down, obviously, because it was only hour and a half, hour 45 for me. So I just don't remember feeling too good. I remember being like, you know what, I'm just feeling like tired, sluggish. I was just falling asleep. Eyes just felt heavy, and I thought, you know what, I'm not feeling it today at all. But I got there, did the warm up again, just felt sluggish, didn't feel good, and then kind of got into the call room and just stopped feeling sorry for myself and thought, look, you're in the call room now, like I've checked in, I have my speed suit on here, I'm going to race. So had to just put it all negative thoughts out of my mind and just try and lock in and think, right, it's time to go here. So managed to do that pretty well, and again just tried to get out hard, and managed to have two pretty good athletes in front of me. There was Amos Langat and there was Matthew Kipkoech, I think. Yeah, they just sat right in behind Callum, who was doing the pacing, and yeah, he did a really good job, and I just got a free ride, to be honest. I just sat in behind him the entire time, and yeah, they kind of just kept clipping off 63, 64 second laps, and then once the pacer dropped out, they moved it on even more, and like I said, I didn't have to do anything but sit in. About 2 laps out, I was starting to feel the hurt a bit, and the home crowd gave me a big massive cheer. I almost made a break, so I thought I have no choice. I'm starting to hurt here, but have to go on my shield, as you could say, and give the home crowd something to cheer for and try and take home the win in the Albie Thomas 5k. So obviously I didn't manage to do that, but I did manage to run a pretty fast time. So yeah, it was pretty perfect, and it was surreal going over the line to run that quick. I probably thought I was in shape to do it, but it's a different feeling to think you're in shape to run a time like that and then to actually go and run it.
I went and watched the Morton Games in 2019 and was in complete awe of what I was watching. So now to be in the main 5,000 metres was just an unbelievable experience for myself. There was a load of Irish guys in it that I was able to work off, and I think I raced pretty well that day. It wasn't the same type of meet as the Brussels meet, so a PB wasn't there for me, but I think I raced it well and raced the lads around me well. And then for Nick again, it was just in complete shock when you cross the line and find out what he's ran. Like 13:13 was absolutely ridiculous, and then I think that's when it just kind of clicked that like he might be better over the 5k, or should definitely even give it a bit more focus, because his focus the whole summer was 1500 and he was still able to run that time, which was ridiculous. And to compete with two African athletes on home soil, it was such an atmosphere on the day.
It was absolutely amazing to be there with all the Irish fans behind him to actually watch that. It was a really good moment. It was one of those like wow moments in your life. A lot of the times next racing in Europe, we are obviously not there because we're working and whatever. So for it to actually be there and see him do that was just an incredible night.
I think breaking the 3,000 metre record the week before had given him that real belief. That's that confidence again to go to the next meeting and try and break the 5,000 metre record, which he did. Yeah, it's good to be there. Good night.
Do you think in a few years you could, go for the actual Irish senior record?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't see why not, to be honest. Like, it's obviously a good record for 1301 from Brian. Like, to be honest, I think I probably am a 5k guy, and I'm really kind of motivated to be the first Irish to break 13 for 5k, which would be pretty special. There's obviously a bit of competition out there with a lot of good athletes right now. You know, you've got Brian, you've got Cormac Dalton, Dara, etc. There's more guys that could definitely give that an attack, Ephraim, stuff like that in the future. But I don't see why I couldn't be the first guy to do it, and it's gonna be a race against time to see who can get it first. But yeah, it's a pretty special thing to say, to be similar to the first Irish to break 4, first man to break 4, the first Irish to break 13 for 5k is a pretty cool title to have. And while everyone can take away your records and stuff, it's similar to an Olympic medal or a championship medal and stuff like that. People can't take away that you were the first Irishman to break 13 for 5k. So hopefully I can do that one day in the not too distant future. So yeah, it's exciting, to be honest. Yeah.
As far as the Diamond League goes, it's always a very hard competition to get into. Those meets is really intense. Everybody wants to run them. We're lucky in that Ricky Sims from Pace is looking after Nick. After he ran Morton, not long after he'd finished the race, actually, I got a message from Ricky to say that he'd got into the London Diamond League 3000, which was great. So Nick was already on a high after that race, and you know, once he sort of did his cool down, I sort of said to him, look, you've got into this Diamond League in London at the weekend. So that was, you know, really good. And when I went into the race itself, you know, he was sort of feeling very confident and really looking forward to it.
Him breaking onto the Diamond League circuit had been kind of talked about the year before, trying to get him into these races, and I just don't think he was quite there yet. And I think the London one was perfect. You know, they gave opportunities to local athletes as well, and like obviously Nick completely earned it with his run at Cork and Morton, and I think that's the race he needed just for that like complete breakthrough. And you know, we've seen that happen with the 7:36, like it just a completely ridiculous time. Probably one of the times that Nick's ran where you're like, it's almost in comparison with the time he ran the 3:56 mile. It's like you're just in complete shock of how that happened, and yeah, it was just completely ridiculous. But I think it was the breakthrough he needed to be in a race like that.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, it's just a real step up to be in your first Diamond League. It was really special, and I think especially when you've watched like Diamond League on the domestic circuit, obviously the creme de la creme of competition in athletics. And like I was saying, you know, I've watched athletics since I was 5 or 6. I was always loved watching it, and the Diamond League was always the huge one. I used to write down all of the schedule. I used to get mum, because I didn't have a phone or anything, obviously, because I was young. So I used to get Dad's computer or mum's phone and get them to look up the Diamond League schedule for me, so I could write down all the meetings, all the times, what channel it was on. So I'd do that at the start of every year, so I could watch every meeting. And I did actually watch them pretty religiously for a good 5, 6, 7 years when I was a bit younger, and then so it was really surreal to actually be competing at one of those meets. For so long I would have been watching and admiring people who were running those meets, so it really was a step above, and I really just tried to appreciate it. It was perfect. The whole experience was perfect, to be honest, for me. Like, the hotel was unbelievable, the race was unbelievable, the time was unbelievable. It was just like a culmination of everything that came together, and it was just perfect. Yeah, I couldn't ask for anything else.
It was incredible. I was there to watch him in the Diamond League, and you know, to be sitting there seeing Katrina Johnson-Thompson and Keeley and all the big stars there, I was like going, oh, Nick's coming out in a minute. You know, it was absolutely amazing. The atmosphere was incredible. You know, I wouldn't have many big stadium experiences, maybe only Jerusalem and whatever, which was, you know, the under-20s, and it wasn't, you know, the same level, but it was, the buzz was amazing. It was a beautiful day, and it was just an incredible experience. And you know, to watch your son running in that, it's just, I can't really describe it. It was just fantastic.
After the Diamond League, we went to Tooting. I remember watching the race last year on the live stream and thought, yeah, this was a really good race. It was won by Sam Tanner, a New Zealand guy. He was actually turning up this year, and there's a few really good British and other foreign athletes running it. So this time he ran in London was Superb, unbelievable. 7:36 was something that I hadn't expected. I don't even think Nick had expected to run so fast. We were really looking forward to Tooting. It sort of reminded him that he actually hadn't won a race all year. He'd been in a lot of fast races, sort of hanging on to a pack, but this was a race that he could actually win. It transpired then he actually did win it. It was a great race to watch. I think he really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed watching it, and he did beat the reigning Tooting champion, who was actually going to the Olympics, so it was a real good confidence boost for Nick that he actually ran well. He ran a PB. He was a bit annoyed he didn't break 3:35. It was 3:35.04 I think he ran, so just missed out.
Sam Tanner was there, Olympian. You had Morgan Bealscombe, Sean McGordy, some good American guys who've ran quick as well. So yeah, I thought, this is a good opportunity, good field, and probably not the favourite going into this race. There's no reason why I can't go and attack it and try and get the win. So yeah, ended up being able to do that.
Yeah, both went well. We both PB'd. It's a rare occasion where everything went well, and Louis as well, who's also in our group, he PB'd that day. So it's a rare occasion where everyone's kind of happy leaving a race. And yeah, my race was perfect for me. It did feel very fast, and I think I'm always going to be, with the type of runner I am, it's always going to be like that in the 1500. But it felt very fast, and I just kind of hung on, and had a bit left with 200 to go, and luckily PB'd. Going into the season, I probably would have wanted a bit of a faster time, but by that stage of the season, to still be PBing was kind of a testament to the training we had been doing all summer. And then to watch Nick's race, just with the quality of field again, it's although he ran a PB and it was an unbelievable time, it was probably more the people he beat, and in the manner he done it that day, just to absolutely take off in the last 100. He kind of really showed his class and showed his level. It fills you with massive confidence for Nick, but also for Irish athletics, the fact that Nick's kicking in this guy that's going to be going to the Olympics for New Zealand, and that Nick can make it, and there's 3 Irish guys going. There wouldn't have even been a spot for Nick on the team. It just kind of fills you for confidence for Irish athletics and the future for Nick, because he's already beaten Olympians. He just needs to get to that level where he's making the team, and we'll probably see in the next year another jump in his performances.
We got back to training for a few more weeks, and I got lucky enough to get into a few Diamond League meets again at the end of the season. So I got into Silesia, and then Rome, and then Zurich. So yeah, that was a really amazing feeling again to get into those. I've been watching Diamond Leagues for so long, for 15 years at that point, so to actually be able to race 4 Diamond Leagues in a season, and race 3 back-to-back, and just be in there with guys like Kajelcha, Barriga, Mohamed, so many more, Jakob, do you know what I mean, Aragari, all those guys who've been kind of doing it at that level for a long time. It was just an unbelievable feeling to actually even be there and be around all the athletes in the hotel and just see what the environment's like. Just to be there was surreal, and to finish off my season racing a few of those, I couldn't really have asked for much more.
To me, the most memorable moment of the year would have been the 5,000 metres at the Morton Games. To have that crowd support, to have him running so well, and looking at one stage, I think with a lap to go, he was still looking pretty good. I think everybody was thinking he was going to win it, and he just sort of faded a little bit in the last 200, but the crowd were on their feet, and it was a really good moment for him, and I think he was delighted with himself. Just to break a Irish record in home soil is pretty special as well.
Most memorable, it's probably either London Diamond League or Morton. It's a tough one to call, because I could switch my answer anytime I'm asked, because Morton was just so special. It was in front of the home crowd, in Santry, in the Morton Stadium, newly led. The crowd were unbelievable that day, and they really got behind me, and I ran a really huge PB, really quick time that it was just kind of surreal crossing the line and being like, flip, this was mental. And as I was saying, then racing in London in front of however many thousand people, 50, 60,000, whatever the capacity was, and how full it was that day, to do that and to run 7:36, which is just a time at 19 I didn't think I'd be running, to be honest. It's really quick, do you know what I mean? There's no other way to put it, and to kind of run that in a Diamond League, in my first Diamond League, in front of a huge crowd, and my mum managed to get over and watch it as well. That was just incredibly special as well. The whole experience was just like a fever dream for me, to be honest. It was all perfect, from the hotel to the race to everything. So I'm actually not going to give you an answer. don't know which one. One of the two. I've described them both in detail there.
Most memorable moment was probably the cross country in Brussels. You know, he bounced back from the fall at Nassau's and he essentially guided the Irish team to goal, and like it was just such a cool experience. You know, Nick had spent 3 years trying to get that goal. He had multiple silvers with the team, and to finally do it on his last year as an under 20 and to also pick up a medal himself, it was almost like a cool thing to see, you know, just after the years of silver to finally get goal in his final year.
There's been a lot of them. For me, it was the Diamond League, because he used to so love watching those. And I remember the previous year, my dad, who's now 81, saying, you know, I wish Nick would get into one of those Diamond Leagues so I could like watch him on the TV. And for Nick to actually be at a Diamond League and my dad be watching it was just amazing. So, and to be there, the atmosphere was just incredible. That was one of the highlights for me.
I mean, the progress that he made in that season, you know, it's what we've talked about, getting to the Europeans, getting to the Worlds, breaking more Irish records. I suppose being in Belgium with him and seeing that gold for the Irish squad and then meeting him afterwards and just the absolute joy on his face and the team, that was nice, because that was the first gold I think the team had won ever, or possibly, in the European cross country. So that was a big moment. But it's been so many highlights, so many great things to look back on and celebrate.
The most difficult moment was probably when he came second at the European under-20s. It's always going to be a tough one when you win a race at 16. Like, the expectation's ridiculous on someone like Nick, and to come second, like, you very rarely hear someone come second in Europe and be as disappointed as that. And it was almost just so gutting, because you see how much this person puts in and you see how hard they work for it, and all summer his mind was just purely on that gold. And I was just delighted that he could make the World Seniors that same summer, because like it definitely helped lift the mood a bit.
Probably after Europeans, just because while I was saying like Brussels, when I didn't run particularly great, was a bit of a downer, and it was just like, what is this? I still, after the race, knew I was going to Europeans. Irish Milers, the game was a bit like, what even was that? But I still had the hope and the thought that I could go on and run at Europeans and run pretty well there. But once I kind of run Europeans, I think I'd probably raced well once out of like 5 races. I'd just been dusted at Europeans, came like 3rd last or something, and just thought like, what is the point? Like, I'm giving it my all to just get absolutely dusted. That was the lowest moment of just like, what's even going on? Like, what's happening? Why am I not racing well? Why am I feeling so bad? Like, nothing's coming together type of thing. But that is just a sport sometimes, you know, and yeah, it can be pretty tough, it can be pretty harsh. But yeah, the thing is, there's probably about 4 weeks between my lowest point and my highest point, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So it does show how quickly things can turn around if you just stick at it, and if you have that mental resilience, which anyone who does running does, because you don't just go out and run every single day without having some toughness about you, I think. So if you have that resilience and that mental hard work and that work ethic, you can stick to it and get over the bad times. 5 weeks later, the best times come around so quickly.
What I've learnt over the past year, I think it's usual never to take anything for granted. All your best laid plans can sometimes go awry. I think never get too sort of confident in yourself that everything will go the way you want it. There's always things that'll happen, and I think you just have to try and learn to deal with it and get on with it. Thankfully this year, from Nick's point of view, there's been a lot more good things and disappointing things. So I think overall, when we were talking and looking back about how the season went, you know, he achieved basically all of his goals bar making the Olympics. We can look back and think, yeah, it was a really good year overall. Yes, there's 1 or 2 disappointments, but that's life. Nothing ever goes smoothly. So I think he's very good at putting things behind him and focusing on what he wants to do ahead, rather than sort of dwelling on what's happened in the past. I think that's a good thing to have, that he can forget about these things.
After Europeans, after I raced in Nice and Madrid and realised I wasn't making the Olympics, it was a bit of a downer. It wasn't a great start to the season, like I was saying, and it was not where I wanted to be type of thing. So I think once I took the step back and stopped taking it so serious and just thought, you know what, just appreciate the situation you're in. Don't take it too serious. Like, you're so fortunate to be in the position of travelling around the world, travelling around Europe, to run in races try and run quick times, and it's literally a dream come true. So once you take that step back and stop taking it all so serious and just have a bit of fun with it, I think then that's when the quick times and stuff like that start to come. Probably said it 1,000 times by now, but Olympic medal is probably my main goal of my career. That's what the pinnacle of the sport is. That's what it's all about. That's what I've been dreaming about doing since I was a child, since I can really, as far as my conscience can remember, to be honest. So that'd be the main one, and other than that, that's like the main outstanding thing I think about whenever I think about success. What would define my career as success? That's the main thing. Overall, I'd say, I don't like to say this too much, but to be the greatest Irish male like athlete or distance runner in history, I think it's achievable. I think we've had some legends, do you know what I mean? There's no denying that. John Tracy, Marcus O'Sullivan, Ray Flynn. I could go on for days about the amount of Ronnie Delaney, you know, Olympic champion. We've had so many legends in Irish distance running, but yeah, obviously Sonia as well, but she is female. She'd be pretty hard to replicate, so I wouldn't want to say overall best because that might be a bit of a stretch, but for me that's something that I think is achievable to kind of be the best Irish male distance runner that's ever been. There's so much that comes with that. You can't just run fast times, that's part of it, but you have to win medals at championships, you have to go and win a global medal, you have to win European medals at a senior level rather than just at a junior level as well. So I think there's so much work to do, but those are the two main things that I would think about when it comes to what defines success, what I'd be happy with and what I can realistically see myself doing. And some might say it's delusional to come out with that and be like, oh, you can't say that, but again, it's no disrespect to anyone, it's just something I feel like if I can put all the work in and if I remain motivated and focused and we do everything right, I don't see why one day I can do both of those things.
I mean, for someone like Nick, what he can achieve in his athletics career kind of has no limit. I think I've heard Nick say before, like if he didn't leave running with an Olympic medal, he'd be disappointed, which is like probably a few people thinking that's almost like an arrogant thing, but like I don't see any reason why that shouldn't happen. You know, the level he's at such a young age, the talent he is, the medals he's already won, the experience he'll have by the time he's in the peak of his fitness will be almost unmatchable. So I think I could see him being on the Olympic podium one day and on a podium at senior level, definitely.
I know he wants to win an Olympic medal, and I think he has the ability and the talent to do it, but you need to have a lot of luck on your side. It's not just talent sometimes, I think, for, you know, to get to that level. Everyday person thinks it's not too difficult to win an Olympic medal, but in reality, you know, anybody who's involved in athletics at a high level know it's really, really difficult. You know, there's so many good athletes out there, and he's going to have to really be, you know, keep himself dedicated, keep himself focused. But if he does so and things go to plan, I think it's an achievable goal. It's not going to be an easy goal, but it is achievable.
Who knows what the future holds? You can't predict it. I don't see there's any point in predicting it or putting on it. I know what he wants to achieve, and we know what he wants to achieve, and he knows what he wants to achieve, and that is his ultimate aim of being at the Olympics and winning an Olympic medal. But who knows what the future holds? You can't predict that.
I know that Nick's just hungry. He's just hungry for doing better and achieving more. And you know, once he had ticked the box for the under-23 records, I know this season it'll be after the senior records. So you know, that's what he's like. He'll go out and he'll try and get it, and he will do everything that he can to do that, and he's got the dedication, determination to succeed. So who knows, the world's your oyster. I think he'll achieve what he wants to achieve.
From Nick's point of view, his legacy will be, here we have a guy who basically brought up in a small town in Ireland, Gaelic sort of background, you know, sort of very normal sort of upbringing, and that he can show other people that what can be achieved. You know, he's still very young, and I think some of the times he's run and some of the things he's done at such a young age is very inspirational to other young athletes who are maybe in a similar situation to Nick in their upbringing. So I think that's a good legacy for him, that he's a very inspirational character.
Nick's legacy in the sport's probably going to be the guy that changed the standards across all of Irish athletics. You know, since Nick came in, the standards just went through the roof. Like at under 20, every run's running way faster, and like people will say the shoes, but even since the shoes came in, the levels just went up ridiculously, and I think it's going to keep going that way. And Nick doing the things he's doing is going to make people want to get there, and you know, because he's so relatable, he's just a boy from Tyrone. Like it makes people think they can reach them heights as well, which is good, and it pushes everyone on, and that's the legacy he'll leave. The guy that kind of changed the way Irish athletics kind of looks at things.
There's lots of younger kids that look up to Nick because they see him doing things that people maybe wouldn't have expected him to, and I think he makes people believe in themselves and the fact that anything's possible.
Just to inspire as many people as I can, and yeah, running's just, it's already changed my life so much. It's given me so much, and it continues to every single day, to be honest. So to inspire anyone to get into it, and if you can inspire one kid and that can inspire someone else, and it's kind of a snowball effect. And I think I love my country. Like, to be a legend of Irish sport would be an absolute privilege. So again, there's a long way to go. There's a lot of things to do, and that doesn't just get thrown about by winning a European junior medal. Do you know what I mean? You have to go and be the best there's ever been to even be in the conversation of being a legend of Irish sport. So to do that would be unbelievable. So yeah, it's easy to get carried away saying all these things and to dream about it and stuff like that. But as I said, if all goes to plan, and 20 years time we can look back and see if I've gotten close to any of these kind of goals. Irish athletics is only going up, to be honest. Like, I think that's pretty clear to see. I think it's not long before we end up back on the global medal podium, whether that be at the World Championships next year or the Olympics in 2028. I think you've got so many people pushing the boundaries. Ciara continues to push the boundaries. Rashida continues to push the boundaries. Do you know what I mean? There's so many, the relay teams, etc. There's so many different athletes that continue to push Irish athletics to the next level, and I think it's not long until we end up back there on a global medal podium. So I'm just hoping that I can be part of that and kind of contribute to that success in one way or another. So that's all I have to do. That's my job, is to just keep working hard and keep doing all I can to contribute to the success of Irish athletics.
And finally, what's next for Nick Griggs?